Kia ora and welcome to our new panel show where if you got something to say, you better say it with your chest. Non-Polynesians appropriating our tatau. It is our versions of history books. The marks of our mana on our bodies tell our stories, but can these be issued and taken out of the library? Today we discuss Pacific Tatau. Who can wear it?
Like a lot of non-Polynesian people are getting like Polynesian tattoos. I don't blame them because honestly, Polynesian tattoos have got to be the most beautiful pieces of art. But it does have the whakapapa of it, and in my opinion, if they do understand that, for me, that's enough for them to get it.
If we accept firstly that is a piece of cultural heritage, in Samoan we call it Malietoa, then I'm going to speak specific for the Pe'a and the Malu, then you have to accept if it's a cultural heritage, it must be connected to a culture. If it's connected to a culture, there must be protocol, or in Māori they call tikanga, around that culture. Traditionally it was, if you got the pe'a, that means you had a special responsibility to kaupua ainga. You had to do the service, you had to do the mahi, you had to do the work. If you want the prestige that comes with it, you have to accept the responsibility that's placed upon you. We have to actually sit down and say, what do we want for the future of this cultural artifact? Because once it's gone, it's gone.
For me, mea sina is like a tangible thing, but for the malu and for the pe'a, it's my blood I'm giving away. It's not ink. For me, it's much more deeper than that, so I can't give it away that easily.
Cultures aren't costumes. You can't just wear my culture for Halloween and run around door knocking for candies. You don't do that. Once your traditional tattoos have just become a random mark on someone's body that has no significance, it means nothing. And I feel like as Indigenous people, we've lost so much. Not just our land, we've lost our people, we've lost our land, and now we're losing our culture. We must do everything to preserve it. But I think that a lot of the times there's conversations around whether someone who doesn't have pure blood ancestry can claim tattoos of that heritage. Comes from this place of fear.
It's awesome that we have these conversations about keeping the mea sina pure, but that conversation about purity should never, ever, ever translate to blood quantum and how much I shouldn't have to prove how Samoan I am to you in order for me to be valued. Like, if the malu and the pe'a really is about service, and if it is about responsibility, then my works, my acts of service should be what you take into account when you decide to gift me the malu.
How Indigenous you are is not based on your blood quantum. I will never introduce myself as half Indian and half Itoke. I am those things. I'm not a quarter or a half. That doesn't work with me because it's disrespectful to do that.
We have very strong opinions to the bearers or the recipients of these, I suppose, national treasures. But it really is the practitioners perhaps that need to be held to account to whose they are dishing out the good to.
A lot of the time, it's the people who wear it, they get the slack, but they weren't educated
Exactly.
on the protocol,
Exactly.
the responsibilities. And, you know, a lot of people might not like it, but for some of these guys, it's become just a business. Right now, you can get a pe'a for as low as, if you get enough of you, as low as $3,000, $4,000, and anyone with money can just come and give it. Sometimes they're just trying to make up numbers. Okay, you know, get 5, 6 of them all together, get it all done at once so that they can get the money in. And it's cynical, but it's the reality of what's happening, and we have to accept that. The other side of that is, like, I would be totally fine if the ufunga decided to charge $20,000 for a pe'a.
I think we have to be careful around regulating. I mean, who can and can't get it when we put financial barriers in it, because then we kind of fall into the realm of elitism, and then only people with money can have the taonga. But I understand the intent. I get the intent, which is te whunga need to be held accountable for their decision-making process around who they choose to ka. There is no accountability for them.
What I was going to add is that at least for It's Okay, we know that we don't exist just in the physical world. We exist in the spiritual world and the physical world, and they're both interconnected. And we believe that there are people who are gifted to do those tattoos.
Yeah.
And those people, I believe that in their judgment, if they think that someone is worthy of it, they may give it.
To the Palangis who want to get Indigenous markings, question your own whakapapa.
Yeah.
Find your own whakapapa. Where is your line?
Think about it.
Yeah, and I'm sure they will find some, marking that speaks to them in terms of their lineage and their bloodline. For a lot of them, it's been lost, but that's their cue to go and search.